Time is our greatest resource. You might have heard the phrase, don't count the days, but make the days count. So I want to invite you at the beginning of this Holy Week to take time to pause, to declutter, and to reflect on the magnitude of Easter. And it all begins by taking time to welcome Jesus. In Matthew 21, we read that he rode in to the city on a donkey. And it might seem strange to you and I, but he rode in as the king, and it was a signal to everyone that he was the promised one. And he comes in peace. And the crowds, they go wild, they lay down palm branches. They take time out of their busy schedule to welcome Jesus. It's a bit like this building. It was built 150 years ago, and for the first century of its life, this place was a house of welcome and worship to Jesus, until the congregation that met here stopped and it got turned into a nightclub, and it's been that way for about 50 years. And then we, against all the odds, got the chance to buy back this building and began renovating it last year. Slowly but surely, a transformation has been taking place. And isn't that just like Jesus, to come into our hearts and into our lives and bring transformation? In Revelation, Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I'll come in and eat with that person and they with me. Jesus died on the cross. He gave up his life. He defeated death and sin. And yet he stands at the door and he politely knocks. He doesn't barge in. He's gentle. And he waits for us to open up our hearts to him. And so the question is, have you taken time to let him in? Have you taken time to welcome the King of Kings into your hearts? Have you given him access to the deep, dark places of your life? And I know that can be scary, because sometimes we feel like our life looks a little bit like this building, a little bit messy, a little bit broken, not a very pretty place. But Jesus promises that if we welcome him in, a chain reaction begins and spiritual transformation takes place. We start to look like him and think like him, and we see others like him, those on the fringes, those that are outcast, those that have been rejected and despised. We can bring God's welcome to them. And when we do, we're welcoming Jesus himself. 2,000 years ago, Jesus rode into the city on a donkey, and the crowds, they praised and adored him, and they took time to welcome him. But they didn't know that that week was the week that was going to change everything. So what might happen if you press pause and you take time this week to welcome Jesus?